Hey guys, it's Mary Jo, and I'm back to talk to you about my hidden hope journey and the things that I've learned along the way in awakening to the need for healing from a very difficult journey within my childhood of trauma. And I just got back from my walk, and my hair's a mess. So I'm leaving my hat on. Anyway, I tried video recording this on my walk, but of course, nature has its way, and it was too difficult. So I'm back. I'm back in my studio, and it is a Saturday morning, and I'm trying the camera landscape today, so it's a little different. And if my eyes are traveling all around, it's because I keep forgetting where I'm supposed to be looking. This is also strange and new to me. Not talking, but talking into a camera. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about uh, peace along with isolation. And isolation has always been one of my coping mechanisms. As a child, I isolated in my room, and I was very fortunate because I had my own room. I was the only girl, and so when I reached a certain age, I had my own room, and my two older brothers had to share a room. And so I had my room, and it was my little sanctuary and my hiding place, and where I could isolate. And when I was, you know, in a place in my mind of wanting to disconnect from the world, I could do it really easy. And I would listen to music. I loved music. I still love music, and I would draw, and I still love art. It's two gifts that God gave me. And I do believe that people who have the artistic and musical side to them tend to be have a lot of sensitivities, and I do. I have tons of sensitivities, not just emotional sensitivities, but like my skin is sensitive. My heart is definitely sensitive. Uh, it, just in general, I physical sensations cause me either heightened joy or rock bottom fear and low. There's hardly ever anything in the middle. Um, so what I would do when I would feel as though my senses were being annoyed, teased, I would isolate, and I would go into that place, and I would listen to music that I loved, and I would pretend in my mind that I was the one singing, that I was the one on stage, and I was wowing people with my talent. And I always wanted to be in music more than even art. Art was something I did that was enjoyable and it was fun, but I really didn't look at it as a way to show the world how amazing I was. So as time wore on and I got to be older, isolating didn't give me the same peaceful feeling that I was always searching for. What it did was it allowed me to hide. And I think when we hide, um, there's a completely different posture in hiding than there is in a peaceful isolation. I think when we need to get out and go to nature and be away from the world, I think it's a great thing. But I think that when we do that, we wind up recharging, renewing, and refreshing. Whereas when we're hiding and we're isolating due to hiding, it's more about fostering negative feelings about ourselves. At least that's what it does for me. And so as time has worn on, and I'm in a place now where I'm finding so much freedom in my artwork, I still have this gnawing feeling and need to isolate. I still have this deep-rooted fear of people knowing who I really am and seeing the cracks and seeing how sensitive I am, how fearful I can be. I don't want people to see the vulnerability of my inabilities. I want people to see my strengths. And so I love that. You know, I post things online now, and I get great feedback. I get wonderful clicks and likes, and all of that is really great. But you know what? Because it's online and I'm behind the screen and their pictures, I'm still isolating. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. You know, I believe this is a calling. I believe God wants me to be real. He wants me to be authentic. He wants me to be vulnerable. And he wants me to share what my life was like, not for pity, but just to connect with people and to say, hey, if you've been through this and this is what it causes you to feel, therefore you wind up coping in so many unhealthy ways, doesn't make you a criminal, you know, or somebody that God doesn't love. He loves us regardless. And he doesn't want us to hide. He wants us to show the talents that he gave us. And he wants us to share those talents that he gave us. And it's all right if we don't always do it in a way that is perfect. I think when we're doing it in our authentic self, there is freedom in that. And my journey has brought me to a place where I finally understand that, but I still am struggling with walking on that fine line of allowing myself to be completely free and letting go, like I'm right on the edge of a cliff and I may fall and I may not, but my reliance isn't on me, it is on my supernatural Father. And so because of that, I am more bold and I can become more brave, and I can step out in ways that allow me to be seen in reality instead of hiding behind paintings or really neat quotes that I find or whatever. You know, I want to be included in the cool group because when I was growing up, I wasn't naturally in the cool group. So I just want to share with you that peace comes from being who you really are. And it doesn't always mean that what's going on around you is calm and gentle and easy and fun. Sometimes it's not. But you can achieve peace, you can find peace, you can have real peace when you just find that conviction inside of you that says this is who you are regardless of what's going on around you. And it's the truth, and it's loved, and it's cared for, and it has purpose. So I'm just here to share what I believe peace is, and leave some comments if you're, you know, if you have any feedback. But just know that vulnerability doesn't mean weakness. Vulnerability means strength, real vulnerability, allowing people to see us for who we really are and allowing ourselves to shine with the gifts and the talents that God has given us. And even with the gifts and the talents he hasn't given us. Because guess what? There's other people in this world that have those gifts and talents that you desire or you've desired. And like myself, I wanted to be this person that could sing in front of anybody or play the piano in front of anybody. And because that has never come to be due to my own fears, I chose the road that gave me more comfort, where I could actually hide. And in and of itself, creating alone is not a bad thing. But if you're doing it and that's all you're doing because you're trying to hide, what I've noticed here, especially recently, is I don't have the same amount of joy or the same amount of feeling of calm or peace if I'm not doing it for the right reason. So, authentic, vulnerable, peaceful, those are all good things. I believe when we're hiding, we're trying to hide those things, and we're not being authentic, we're wearing masks, we're not being vulnerable, we're pretending, we're play acting, and we're not showing our work coming from a place of, that work. By work I mean our talents don't come through in an authentic way. They're tortured. I have artwork it felt like torture. And if you're doing something you've been gifted with, you should never feel like you're torturing yourself, right? That doesn't mean you don't have moments of difficulties, but it shouldn't feel like torture. And if it feels like torture, you need to step back and take a look at it and say, wait a minute, whoa, what's going on here? If you find yourself frantically striving rather than peacefully thriving, you need to take a look at what you're doing and try to decide if you're doing it with the right state of mind. And for me, what I have found is one of the hardest things is being quiet and being still in God's presence and knowing that He's blessing me, knowing that He hears me, knowing that He wants to use me and my work to reach other people or bless other people. That's where the peace comes from, and the work, and I don't have to feel like I'm torturing myself. So I want to leave you with this painting. This painting is called Soul Essence. This is the only painting that I ever did in the first 10 years that I discovered abstract. This is the only painting that didn't have a lot of detail, high texture. It looks incredibly different from all the other works that I was doing. It's all flat on a canvas, and it's just paint and brush movements. And I called it Soul Essence because there was a sense in it of where my soul needed to be, and that was peaceful, calm. The colors even represent that. So again, I had no idea when I was painting it that that's what this was. And it's really kind of funny that it's the only one. And I think it's because I was looking so hard at that time to find peace. God gave me that moment in time, those hours, however long it took me to do this. He was guiding my hands and saying, this is what you can have if you continue to seek me and allow me to guide you and allow me to speak into you. Use the gifts that I've given you, but remember where they came from and use them to help others. And that's what I'm hoping to do. So that's it. I'm going to leave you. I pray you have a blessed day. And you just know that you're loved and you're cared for. If you're breathing, God created you. That means He gave you purpose. He gave you life. And there's a really, really amazing part of you that people need to see. And that's the authentic you. So have a great day and take care.